Hey, what's up guys? Rampedi here. We're back with another episode. Bafana Bafana thrash Sierra Leone. Orlando Pirates steal PSL transfer window deadline day. Pitso Ahli back together? Gotta talk about it. Let's go.
That's how it goes?
They keep asking about the best when they know it's me.
Okay.
Asking about the rest when they know it's me.
Straight in, I guess.
You know it's me.
It was a sunny afternoon on Saturday as Bafana Bafana took on Sierra Leone. What a game that was. I tell you something, man. No one saw that result coming. I didn't. I gotta tell you that. They really played really well. I have to give it to the boys. Bafana Bafana, they played really well. You know, they started really slow, assessing the opponents as well. And I thought they were cautious at times, but the moment the first goal went in, you could just see the goals were just going to flow. And you could see Sierra Leone couldn't cope with the pace of Bafana Bafana as well, with Mayambela running in behind. Sekgota was running in behind. I think even La Pasa, he didn't score, but what he did was he distracted the other defenders as well, which was a key performance. And as for Themba Zwane, I mean, welcome back, Themba Zwane. I mean, he comes back, he scores a brace. And both goals, class, cute finishes. That's for sure. You know, that's how you make a statement. That's how you show your class over the years. And you got to give it to Themba Zwane. Despite being the age of 33, he continues to show that he can perform at high levels as well. And the first goal as well, showing strength as well. I mean, that's the one thing that he does have. And he showed that he has the experience to make players around him better. You know, and he's going to be very crucial for Bafana Bafana. I will say this, though, and it's almost going to damper a little bit of what's been said about Themba Zwane from a high praise point of view, and which is something he does deserve. We can't hide from the fact that he is 33 years old. You know, we can't hide from that. We can't look away from that. We can't shy away from that. And as you saw, they've moved the AFCON as well, the next AFCON that's going to take place in Ivory Coast. By the time that AFCON comes around, he will be 35 years old. And that's something we can't miss. And don't get me wrong, I still think he could be an important player going into that tournament. Messi's going into the World Cup with Argentina at 35. Cristiano Ronaldo is going in with Portugal at 37. So he will be very important. But what I will say is, I think we, as a nation, need to start looking for a successor. For someone who can also slow the tempo down, you know, make other players better. Because we don't want to be able to get to a place where he suddenly reaches the place where he can't play for Bafana anymore and he can't contribute anymore, and then suddenly we don't have anyone in that position. So great performances, no doubt, but we have to start to get to a point where we start to look for a successor. There were players that also made their debuts as well for Bafana. Mayambela, the little brother to Mark Mayambela. I mean, you could just see the similarities in the way that they played. He's very quick. Deceptively quick as well. You would not think he is that fast. You can tell that he's a forward as well. You know, he can play in the center forward position as well. I like the way he was occupying the box over there. And I think he's someone that is going to stay within this Bafana setup. He is someone that we need to build with as well. And especially also that he does have that international experience. Luke Leroux, too. International experience. It's great to see players like this. I mean, the one thing I like about him, he's clever. You know, he was committed as well. So he is someone definitely to build around. Sekgota, natural winger. You know, he takes on defenders. I mean, when last do you see that with a player consistently taking on defenders? He's not scared of anyone. You could put Dani Alves there and he'd still take him on. And that is something that I love to see about Sekgota, and he took his chance. I put a tweet out to say these players have to take their chances, and also La Paz as well. Credit to you too, man. You might have not scored, but just the way you were able to pull defenses out of their positions to help others score, that was something that was noticed. And these boys really took the opportunity. I will also say this, though. I love what Hugo Bruce said at the end of the game of Sierra Leone. You know, he praised Themba Zwane for his performance. He liked the performance of the boys as well. But he was quick to remind us that it is Sierra Leone. We are supposed to be performing like this against Sierra Leone. So that is something that I like that he said, because it sort of keeps our feet on the ground as well. Also do know, at this current moment, Bafana Bafana is taking on Botswana. I've decided to not speak about that game because it's currently happening as we speak. But look out for my Twitter pages because I will be giving out my reactions. Twitter, TikTok, I will be there. And those are my reactions to Sierra Leone's game. Orlando Pirates signs Kermit Erasmus and Ndlondlo on deadline day? I mean, let's not forget the goalkeeper, China, also came in. But let's start things off with Kermit Erasmus. I mean, what a capture this was. You know, I spoke about the fact that this is a serious capture. To have a player like that who can add depth to the squad. I mean, I look at all those forwards that they have, and I was just thinking, how lucky is Jose? You know, how lucky are you to have so many quality players up front? And look what I did. So I've come up with 6 combinations that Jose Rivero can play with regards to the front line. Don't worry, Jose, I didn't touch your 3-4-3 formation. So you still have your 3 forwards that you play with. But I was just thinking the combinations you could come up with. Now, as you can see on screen, combination number 1, if he wanted, Lorch, Erasmus, Pule. Combination number 2, Lorch, Lepasa, Erasmus. Combination number 3, Erasmus, Evanga, Lepasa. We're not done yet. Number 4, Hoto, Erasmus, Lorch. And 5, Dlamini, Machopa, we are yet to see him. And Pule as well. And finally, Saleng, Pepra, and Jukumanja. I mean, we're talking about serious depth here that Orlando Pirates has. And I could see Erasmus scoring goals. I've spoken about the fact that the last time we saw Erasmus happy, the last time we saw him even at Cape Town City, he was scoring goals. And I think he needed this move because Kermit Erasmus is 32 years old. Like, you know, time in terms of having to play at top level, it's not a lot. It's not a lot. But he goes to a side that's going to be creating a lot of chances, and we could see that happy Kermit again. And people keep asking the question, why did he leave Orlando Pirates in the first place? I'll tell you why he left Orlando Pirates in the first place. He went to France. He went to Rennes. That's how good he was at the time. So they're getting a serious player, serious depth, and I expect the squad to score tons of goals. The second signing, Ndlondlo, leaving Marumo Gallants, coming to Orlando Pirates. Good player, durable. He's always there. He's always playing. Funny enough, I spoke about him a couple of weeks ago on the show. Tricky, creator of goals, and he can also score goals as well. I've spoken about the fact that it was time for him to move up. I think it was time to challenge himself at a bigger club. And he needs to step up. You know, he really needs to step up because he has to be able to fight for position. There's so many players that play within his position as well. And we've seen players who've come in and maybe the Orlando Pirates badge was heavy, but I'm just glad he's getting this opportunity as well. What I will say is Pirates also has players that can complement him as well. That's the nice thing about it. You know, you see on screen there, Thabang Monare, Musele, Motsoare, and, you know, Miguel Tim, he played with him. He played with him. You know, I got to tell you, man, and when you get Ndlondlo to dance, when you get Ndlondlo to express himself, you get a serious player. And I look at the squad for Orlando Pirates. My overall assessment of the squad is it's much better than what it was last season. That's for sure. It's much better than what it was. The depth is there, the quality in depth. You know, when you're able to substitute a player from the bench onto the pitch and the quality remains the same, that's when you know you have a good squad. I mean, it would be a serious shame if the squad does not win at least one silverware. One! You know, and it's there to fight for. MTN8 is there to fight for. Nedbank Cup is still coming. And there's still the league. I really do think they can push Mamelodi Sundowns. And here's the huge advantage that Orlando Pirates has over Mamelodi Sundowns. They're not in CAF. They are not in CAF. So they don't have to worry about that competition. But I really expect the squad to do some damage this season. From one Soweto Giants to another. Kaizer Chiefs. They played this weekend. They played against Royal AM. And they lost. Yeah. Royal AM are Macufe Cup champions. Gotta tell you, man, I did not get to see this game. I was spending time with my family, you know, but I was checking out the reviews in terms of how the game went as well. I saw even Royal AM brought in the chairman. I was really surprised at that. I really was. The less said about that, the better, to be honest. And as for Kaizer Chiefs, I'm looking at these reviews, and apparently the players, majority of them, did not impress. They didn't impress at all. You know, there's one player that they speak about, he played in the central defensive midfield position. But other than that, not a lot of them impressed. And that is a huge worry for Atazwan, because this was not necessarily the first team squad that played. This was the fringe players. This was some of the players that were from the bench as well. And if they can't grab the opportunity to try and impress, to push the starting 11, then it's something that Atazwan has to think about. And from that performance, they've put pressure on themselves, because their next game is MTN8. It's the first leg against AmaZulu. And if he's not able to do well there, I mean, you could imagine if Kaizer Chiefs get knocked out of this competition, what's going to happen there. Look, Macufe Cup, I didn't take it seriously because it is a friendly cup in essence, you know, and it's an annual cup that happens every single year. But still, from what I was reading, I just felt like the effort was not put there from the boys, and it could have been a little bit more. And unfortunately, they've put themselves under pressure just a little bit for this weekend. Pitso is back. Yep, Ahli have a new head coach. The man himself, Jingles. Oh, no, wait. Not the Ahli you were thinking about. Not the one in Egypt. No. This man is going to Saudi Arabia. Yep. He's going to Saudi Arabia. And I got to tell you, man, I'm happy that he's back. I'm really happy that he's back because of the coach that he is, the quality of coach that he is. Just seeing him doing the other off-field stuff, I just was like, no, man, a quality coach of that level cannot be just, you know, chilling at home. And now he's back in the dugout. This is a challenge, man. This is a challenge. I really need to highlight that. I saw social media, and some people were just going on about the fact that it's Saudi Arabia. He's gone there for the money. They're in the second division, this team. It's not that for me. It's not that for me. I think it's more than that for me. Firstly, it's a new club. Secondly, it's in a new country. And thirdly, he takes over a club that was recently relegated to the second division in Saudi Arabia. And he spoke about having to reawaken a sleeping giant. I mean, for me, that is a challenge. That is a challenge within itself. And I feel like this type of move is going to pave way for coaches in South Africa eventually one day. I really do think so. Because not only has he made South Africa popular in Egypt, he's going to make South Africa popular there too. You know, now they will start to see the quality of coaching that is produced from South Africa. But as for these coaches that are in South Africa, you have to have the same ambition as this man does. That's for sure. So some people may look at it as money. And so what? He deserves to get paid. He deserves to get paid. You don't win CAF Champions League the number of times you do. You don't win league titles as you do and not get paid. So I was expecting for that to happen. But for me, the fact that he goes into a new environment that he's never been at and try to succeed there is going to pave way in the long term. And that's for Jingles. From all of us here at Playing the Field with Shakes, wish you all the best. He takes his team. Good luck. Mamelodi Sundowns finally announced the arrival of Abdelmounaim Boutouil, the Moroccan defender. I mean, it took you time, eh? It took you time to get here because apparently he's been in the country for some time. We touched on this player weeks ago. And I spoke about the fact that I would do more profiling in regards to the player. He's a left-sided centre-back. That's one thing that I picked up. And as well as he can play left-back, CDM, and as well as CM. So if you want him to sit, he can sit. But also, it seems like if you want him to be that deep-lying playmaker, he can do that too. He's a ball-playing defender. And what I also noticed is he didn't play much last season. Possibly it was injuries, but he's also been capped for Morocco as well. Under 20 and under 23. Not the senior team as yet. But when you're being capped by the national team at the youth stages, it means you're a really good player. And I would like to think that this signing replaces Nascimento. I think they've been looking for Nascimento's replacement because of the way Sundowns builds up from the back. I think it would be it will let them to build up much better in the sense that there's a left-sided centre-back that will be standing next to Russian Durok or that will be standing next to Grant Kekana. Who knows, depending on which centre-back they buy. And one thing that he does have as credit in the bank is the fact that Allende has been so good. Nasir has been so good. So I would like to think that Mamelodi Sundowns' scouting has been quality. So I can't wait to see what he brings. He's only 24 years old, so he could be at the club for such a long time. And he is the first Moroccan to play in the PSL. So welcome, man. Hopefully you put Morocco's name up there. Looking forward to see how he plays, and maybe he might feature in the MTN8 this coming weekend. It's time for our weekly bet of the week. The purpose of this segment is to show you my bet slip in hopes that it helps yours light and green. The more accurate, the more cash you get. Let's get into it. Okay, let's start off this week. We've got two selections. Two games. First game, Brazil going up against Tunisia. You saw what they did to Ghana. I think they're going to do the same to Tunisia. I've gone with the Brazil win and over 1.5 goals. And then the big one, Portugal against Spain. How do you go with this one? The one team won and the other team lost. But I've gone with the team that lost to win this game or potentially come out with the result. So I've gone with the draw in Spain and under 3.5 goals. So I don't see too many goals happening. I've gone with the double chance and under 3.5 goals. The odds there, 2.64. So that's almost 3 times my money back. Looking forward to these games. They are tonight. So if you are going to place your bets, do it now. That is Bet of the Week, sponsored by Betway. Remember to practice responsible betting at betway.co.za. Until the next one, all the best. We've come to the end of the show now. And as you know, I always leave you with something. But this time I'll leave you with 2 things. Number 1, I won't be available next week. But there will be a show coming out on Friday as well. So that's 2 episodes this week. And secondly, what's your thoughts on Unlimbisani playing for Royal AM? Being on the bench in a league game, coming on against Kaizer Chiefs this past weekend. What do you think? Why is it showing so much attention? I'm talking to the football purists. Tell me your honest thoughts in the comments. And for those who are watching, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you are notified for future episodes.